just defended yourself with a gun. There were multiple assailants, and you were really concerned about your legal jeopardy and the resulting media coverage. Was deadly force justified? In your town, the politics of self-defense is not favorable, but at least you're alive and your family is protected. Fortunately, you have Self-Defense Fund, a comprehensive litigation membership backing you on appeals, legal expenses, court costs, and more. Up to $1 million per incident and unlimited attorney costs per member. Discover selfdefensefund.com for yourself. Any weapon, any state, anytime.
The doctor is in.
And not only is Doctor in, but it looks like we got Gordon in and Tommy Attaway. Gordon, what are you bringing to the show today?
Oh, we got a brand new super dojo that's called Defenders Martial Arts.
Defenders Martial Arts.
Here in Northwest Houston, just off of Spring Cypress and 249. It's an academy that's over 15,000 square feet that's devoted to both honoring our veterans and our firefighters and our law enforcement folks, but I think as much as anything else, teaching the people in the neighborhood how to be able to diffuse aggressive situations before they get to gunpoint, and to be able to build character and strength and all the things that martial arts have to offer, into families and young people. And we're starting and we're opening up our academy in about 4 days, and it's an amazing. It's bigger than ever, and over 15,000 square feet of places to learn and practice and sharpen skills and hopefully stop things before they escalate too far.
All right. Well, Defenders Martial Arts Academy. It's a long one.
Yes, sir.
DefendersMartialartsAcademy.com. And you guys ought to check that out.
Yeah.
So you're opening, do you have your official grand opening day scheduled?
We are doing our beginning of classes now, but we will have an official grand opening around the 1st of April, and be inviting lots of folks in. We've got folks coming in now and signing up to be able to start their classes, but we'll do a major event besides an event that's actually coming up this coming next Friday, where we're honoring one of the extraordinarily put their money where their mouth is defenders, a guy named Sam Childers, that they made a movie about him called The Machine Gun Preacher. And Sam is going to be here Friday from 12 to 2 in an effort for us to be able to honor what he's done in the Sudan and what he's, defending the defenseless children that were being slaughtered by the hundreds, and then help another thing where we've got a lot of issues, as you probably well know. I'm sure you've talked a lot about, but we have human trafficking issues right here in Houston, Texas. Unfortunately, we're one of the highest.
We're number one. We're number one.
That's a bad number one, right?
Yeah.
There's another
in human trafficking
ministry. There's a lady here that has a ministry called Greenhouse, and they're dedicated to rescuing these young people that have been sucked into that vortex of black called human trafficking. So Childers is coming here to help her with that activity over in the Greenspoint area and raise awareness, and we intend to be able to, as much as we can, arm people against folks who would take advantage of them in a one-on-one aggressive situation, to be able to escape from that and defend themselves. So that's what our whole program's devoted to, and we've got everything from taekwondo to boxing to MMA to self-defense as part of our menu of things that are going to be out there, folks, to tune up with and be able to do a better job. I love the line, and I'll share it with you. If you remember the movie with Kevin Costner and Sean Connery, where Costner was Elliot Ness, and Connery was, they were getting ready to discuss whether they could take down Al Capone. And the line that Connery came up with, which was absolutely amazing, he said to Costner, so you want to take down Elliot Ness, do you? He says, well, the question is, what you prepared to do?
Yeah.
So, and I think the question is anymore in our society is, what are you prepared to do? So when we meet the devil in the alley someday, or the parking lot or the playground or whatever, we need to be better prepared. And we don't do it in schools. The only place to do it is in private training. And if you do it with the right spirit, and you do the Karate Kid spirit, which says fighting not good, but a must fight win, defense is the issue and defense is the answer.
Well, it is. I love that movie. I often refer to the great sage Miyagi, but there was so much truth in that movie. And I mean, the whole peace through strength idea that Reagan talked about was exemplified in there. But to be prepared to deal with anyone, and hopefully that your reputation will precede you and they just won't want to start the fight.
Yeah, well, it's amazing if you learn a few basic self-defense moves when somebody grabs you by the arm or grabs you around the waist, or those moments happen, and you can escape immediately and step back. So much of the time the response, I didn't mean anything by that.
Yeah.
Oh, golly, you learn how to diffuse it and take it down until you have to take them down. So
Yeah.
we're actually preparing families and children and so forth to be able to, deal with the moment. God forbid the moment occurs, but you need to be prepared, and that's what we're after.
Well,
Whether,
so
as I say, whether it's in the parking lot or the playground.
I know that one friend of mine who happens to be, in his 60s, he was doing Krav Maga and got seriously injured doing Krav Maga. So my other question is, do you guys teach, I see you teach grappling here, but I mean, something that a senior citizen could potentially learn to do without ending up in the hospital.
Well, you have to evaluate the senior citizen, whether they're using their cane to whack somebody to fend them off, or whether or not they actually have the ability to. It's about equipment most of the time, okay? And the equipment we've got special grappling mats. Besides the fact that we've got several international rings of mats that are designed for judo and for grappling and jiu-jitsu. We've also got, as you see, that we don't want to take it to that level. We have an octagon, which is like the UFC style cage, and the mats that are inside that particular cage, which not many people have been in. I got a mattress that is softer. They're about the same softness as you could lay down and go to sleep on it, and make Mattress Mac have a reaction. But you don't have to be hurt, and that's all about training. And so if your training is right and it's matched up to the individual, and they're brought along in the right way, the chances of that are minimal. But by the same token, it's not beanbag. It's if you're going to defend yourself, you got to be able to be willing to be a little sore.
Well, you're right. What are you prepared to do? That was the good statement.
Well, we appreciate you understanding that, and we appreciate you spreading the word. That's we feel like we're going to be a powerful contribution. We've got special programs for, as I say, for vets and firefighters, and for our constables, all of our law enforcement folks, to be able to have a place that they can come actually practice what they have to put into practice on a regular basis. And there's not too many places, or very few, if none, that do that for them.
Well, I'm really glad to hear it. Once again, this is Defenders Martial Arts Academy, and you guys are going in up there, you said over in the Tomball area.
That's correct. The address is 11715 Spring Cypress. It's about a half-mile west of 249 and Spring Cypress, the intersection at 249 and Spring Cypress. And we invite everybody to come out. In fact, they can come out, tour the campus, meet a coach, meet an instructor, get a free lesson in self-defense, and see whether it might be the right fit for them to be able to do something besides couch potato their lives.
So you're opening in about 2 weeks, and April 15th, of course, is Highway Robbery Day. That's when the federal government steps in and forcibly disarms everybody and takes all of the stuff they've earned.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
If you got over there quick,
defenseless, right?
yeah, you might be able to learn enough things to defend yourself against the IRS on April 15th.
That's right. A good spinning heel kick couldn't hurt.
It cannot hurt, and who deserves it more? But Defenders Martial Arts Academy, karate, yoga, taekwondo, mixed martial arts, cardio kickboxing, which, by the way, I mean, some of you guys just need to get your cardio up. There's a good way to do it practically.
Right.
Boxing, grappling, wrestling.
Have no belt, they got that old belt that they put in their drawer. It's time to get it out, dust it off, bring it back, and re-energize your bucket list. In other words, something that you ought to do before you check out is at least break a board.
Indeed. And of course, it had been good to have these skills down at the rodeo last night. They had a black gang. I don't know if you heard about this, but they had a black gang, a bunch of young black gang members, and they just went running amok through the rodeo down there, about 50 of them, and just knocking people over and hurting them. And they hurt a couple of my friends got hurt in that. It had been good to have had some of this action.
Send your friends over. We'll make sure they'll be prepared the next time something like that hits the trail, you know? But as you say that, I thought the rodeo you were talking about, like our grappling guys, you know, we've got an instructor that's so talented. If you put you in the ring, you look like one of those calves, except he'll tie you up in a knot and leave you there on the ground. He doesn't even need a rope. You know?
Oh, man. See, well, I appreciate a man with skills. I truly do. But it would have been great last night when those guys decided to go ape crazy down there. If the first one running down the hall had just got clotheslined, that would have kind of shut some of the rest of it down.
Fortunately, if you've got the training, you can almost stop it before it starts, and that's the best point. You know, you diffuse the situation. But the real bottom line is again, I'll go back to the Karate Kid line, you know, fighting not good, but if you must fight, win, you know.
Exactly so.
That's part of what we need to be prepared for.
And of course, the other great line from that movie: "We do not learn karate so we can fight. We learn karate so we don't have to fight." Exactly
the point. That's right. And you know, and so many of the kids need to be prepared for that, because it's not, you know, in school it's not there, and the playground, unfortunately, is an intimidating place and not a place to learn honor and skill and respect, self-respect for your sport. You got to go another place to get her done. And a lot of time that's actually what martial arts now makes available, you know, to people who need that and need to focus and need to be able to, you know, have the confidence to discipline their actions, as opposed, we've got such lack of respect anymore in our community that's so important to build that. That's a main issue that's going on, as you always are keen to observe, the lack of respect between law enforcement and the public and the society. We've got to get back to the American values of having reintroduced a full agenda of respect, both in our families and in our society.
Well, they don't teach it in the schools anymore. That is a given. That's why I urge everyone, if you've got your children in public school, get them out. Get them into a private school or homeschool them. What are you prepared to do? Well, are you prepared to homeschool your kids? That's what my daughter did. And she's got 5 little girls, but she left her nursing career to homeschool her daughters.
You and I are brother, we're in the same boat. I have a daughter who homeschooled their children. And one of them went on to all the way through, got accepted at the University of Texas University of Texas Computer Science Center up in outside of Dallas, was the honor student for that collegiate event. So when they say to you, you don't shortchange your children, you prepare your children, you know, when you involve yourself in their lives. And we're big on making sure that parent-child involvement is all part of this process.
Well, it's going to be 11721 Spring Cypress Road in Tomball. 11721 Spring Cypress Road in Tomball. Defenders Martial Arts Academy.com. Defenders Martial Arts Academy.com. And Gordon is the guy down there. So you guys need to go over there, check it out. I will let you know. We'll give you an update when it's actually getting open. But meanwhile, you can drive by and at least see the place and make some plans. These are skills that everyone should have. I happen to be a shooter. I love firearms, and I love the use of the firearm. But the fact of the matter is, in many cases, that's not going to be your first opportunity. You're not going to get to that immediately. So it'd be good if you had some built-in bodily skills in order to defend yourself and others. One thing before I let you go, Gordon, I was talking to a lady yesterday, and she was telling me that she'd been to a course where one of the things they taught her was how to get your gun out and shoot while you're laying on the ground, because she said for most women, it's assumed you're already going to be on the ground before you realize you're under attack. What are your thoughts on that, Gordon?
Well, that's an absolutism. What happens is most fights or most outside situations wind up on the ground. And so it's not a matter of boxing skills necessarily. It's not a matter of whether we train them, and it's not a matter of kicking skills. But the situation on the ground is a critical. You have to learn how to be able to escape it, how to control it. And, most people like, when's the last time, if you weren't at the rodeo the other night, that you were in a fight? I mean, we don't have the experience, and you got to work on it. You got to have the place where you can actually tumble and roll and take care of the moments. But they're absolutely correct. That's unfortunately where the situation goes, and we train people to escape those situations. Our coaches are both wrestlers and judo, jiu-jitsu people, and mixed martial artists and international level karate and taekwondo champions. So this is something you got to work into your life, like it or not. Self-defense is no longer optional.
No, you got to have it. Defenders Martial Arts Academy, guys. Check it out. They're on Facebook. So, blip over there and like it on Facebook. Contact these guys. And I strongly urge all of you to go by and take a look at it. For one thing, self-defense is a perishable skill. And if you maybe have some technique and some things you learned in years back, it would be a good idea to get over there and brush them up a little bit. And you have memberships. How do you do this? You charge by the hour or what?
We have memberships, absolutely. The memberships for classes by the month, but we also have a membership in the Sportsplex, which is in the back, where basically we encourage them to BYOB. That's called Bring Your Old Belt. Get back in here and work out and sharpen your skills back up. If you don't use it, you can lose it a little bit. So we want to encourage folks who are not currently in a program to come back here, and they can work out, 6 days a week, and available to them to come in and utilize the proper equipment. We supervise their initial admission to that, so they're not going to get hurt kicking something. But we definitely want to have a place, and nobody's got this now except us, where they can come in and actually fine-tune or revive their old martial arts skills. So we're here for them. We're here for you. Bring your families, and we'll do our best to make sure that everybody gets prepared.
Well, find it on Facebook, guys. Defenders Martial Arts, right here in Tomball. You're just 8 miles from my studio. So I'm going to have to get by there and take a look, see what you guys got. But the pictures you've got, it's a beautiful facility.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
We're
very proud of it. One of a kind.
I'm looking forward to you guys doing some good business, and this is something that, as a Texan, you should want to know these things. And you guys, get your wives out. Your wife needs to be able to defend herself. You may not always be there. That's why I have my wife carrying all the time. So, Frank said, "Can't I just yell ouch when an aggressor attacks me?"
You over here. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to come by and check it out. I mean, as an older gentleman, I'm not as strong as I used to be. But Frank said, "Can't I just yell ouch when an aggressor attacks me and have him leave me alone?" He said that's the advice the University of Arizona is giving.
Oh.
No, get your butthurt stuff out of here. We got no use for you. So Gordon with Defenders Martial Arts Academy at 11721 Spring Cypress Road in Tomball. Thank you for coming on the show today and telling us about this. And I want you to come back on as you get closer to opening.
My pleasure. Be looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you soon and tuning up your preparedness.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hit this next break, and we'll be right back.
Thank you, sir.
On the Doc Greene Show.